Here's something to celebrate for a change, something to be happy about.
Have we done Matt Walsh yet? I don't think we've done Matt Walsh. I don't want to do Matt Walsh, but I guess I gotta.
AP reports, although the AP is not happy, Louisiana has become the first state to require that the 10 Commandments be displayed in every public school classroom.
They weren't the first, you know. Kentucky tried it decades ago, and the Supreme Court smacked those bitches down in Stone v. Graham. So yeah, we're talking about the 10 Commandments crap. Thank Expunged 71111 for requesting this on the Lord Killian Discord. Or blame him one, we'll see.
Can you imagine that? The media is shocked and appalled. To have Republican legislatures that are actually pushing Republican agendas.
Maybe it's actually because they're pushing an unconstitutional agenda. Don't you think that's possible?
The legislation the Republican Governor Jeff Landry signed into law on Wednesday requires a poster-sized display of the 10 Commandments in large, easily readable font.
I'm thinking open dyslexic. Use that one.
In all public classrooms from kindergarten to state-funded universities. Landry said, if you want to respect the rule of law, you've got to start with the original lawgiver, which was Moses.
Yeah, I don't think Moses was one of the founders.
Opponents questioned the law's constitutionality.
Well, considering it's already been decided.
And vowed to challenge it in court. Proponents said the measure is not solely religious, but that it has historical significance.
Kentucky made that same claim. Didn't help them. The court ruled, this is not a case in which the 10 Commandments are integrated into the school curriculum, where the Bible may constitutionally be used in an appropriate study of history, civilization, ethics, comparative religion, or the like. Posting of religious texts on the wall serves no such educational function. If the posted copies of the 10 Commandments are to have any effect at all, it will be to induce the school children to read, meditate upon, perhaps to venerate and obey the commandments. However desirable this might be as a matter of private devotion, it is not a permissible state objective under the Establishment Clause.
In the language of the law, the 10 Commandments are foundational documents of our state and national government.
Except they aren't. That's the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. The first 5 commandments are rejected outright, and our economy would be impossible without number 10, considering that it goes against the entire basis of a free market.
The posters, which will be paired with a 4-paragraph context statement describing how the 10 Commandments were a prominent part of the American public education for almost 3 centuries.
Yeah, read the bill. They only mention the 10 Commandments in textbooks, which, as I just read, the Supreme Court says is okay. That's not what they're doing.
And also, worth noting, under the law, state funds will not be used to implement the mandate. The posters would be paid for through donations.
Yeah, that didn't help Kentucky and Stone either. Quote, it does not matter that the posted copies of the 10 Commandments are financed by voluntary private contributions, for the mere posting of the copies under the auspices of the legislature provides the official support of the state government that the Establishment Clause prohibits. Nor is it significant that the Bible verses involved in this case are merely posted on the wall rather than read aloud as in Shemp and Engel, for it is no defense to argue that the religious practices here may be relatively minor encroachments on the First Amendment.
So, the law also authorizes but does not require the display of other items.
Yeah, the 10 Commandments is the only one that's required. That is the problem. Do you get it, Maddie?
So, this will obviously be challenged in court. Will it survive the court challenges? I don't know.
If they respect stare decisis, it won't.
People are upset about this policy, and that's not surprising.
Well, it shouldn't be anyway. I would hope people actually respect the Constitution. You apparently don't. Tell me, Matt the Pratt, how can you respect the founding documents of this country by violating them?
But It makes a lot of sense.
It makes no sense, because our founders did give us a list of 10 commandments. It's called the Bill of Rights, and number 1 on that list says you can't do this.
The 10 Commandments serve as the moral foundation for our system of law.
They really don't, you know. At best, you have 4. And those 4 are hardly unique or original to the 10 Commandments. And if you actually read the Bible, you see how much even those are flexible. Thou shalt not kill, except when God said to kill all of the Amalekites, including men, women, children, infants, and even livestock. Samson himself killed 3,000 people. And if a bunch of kids make fun of a bald guy, sending she-bears to tear them limb from limb seems an appropriate response. Some lawgiver.
Not just ours, but all of Western civilization. So even if you look at them from a purely secular perspective, from that point of view, you would have to at least acknowledge that they are the most influential set of rules or laws ever set down. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
I can't tell if this guy's gaslighting or just dumb. Although it might be both. I think it's both, actually.
And all that means that it's relevant from an educational perspective.
It might be in the context of certain appropriate textbooks. It's not in the sense of requiring it to be elevated in everyone's view by posting it on the wall of every classroom.
I think there is also an attitude from some on the right, which I totally understand, of course, which is that, okay, if this is what you guys are going to do, if this is how you want to play it.
So, if that's the way you want to play it, what happens when the Satanists want to have the 11 satanic rules of the earth displayed alongside it? And when the Pastafarians demand posting of the 8 I'd really rather you didn't?
A child gets through public schooling and graduates, and if he doesn't know anything about the Bible, if he cannot tell you what the 10 Commandments are, can't even give you 5 of the 10 or something, can't tell you anything about the Bible, well, then that tells you that his education was sorely lacking.
I wonder what would happen if I cornered Walsh and asked him to tell me 5 of the 10 amendments in the Bill of Rights. Or even just, what are the 5 rights guaranteed by the First Amendment? Has he even read them?
I know they're going to be able to find activist judges who say, oh, this is an infringement on the First Amendment.
No, just judges that follow precedent. I guess activist judge is any judge who decides a way Matt Walsh doesn't like.
I know that's going to happen. But it's still stupid. Of course it does not violate the First Amendment.
Except it does. That was settled decades ago.
I know in recent times we have been told that really the First Amendment means that religion cannot be acknowledged, can't even be acknowledged in any kind of public setting.
Do you see what liars like Walsh have to do to prop up their failing Bronze Age mythology? He's ignoring another commandment. Thou shalt not bear false witness. He does it all through this video. You can acknowledge religion all you want. You can teach it in relevant textbooks of history or comparative religion or whatever. What you cannot do is elevate any one religion above all the others. And that is exactly what they did and exactly what you want, and you know it. Stop lying! So thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, leave a comment, and go to donate.bogosity.tv to keep me doing what I do. And check out all the great content here, like this video selected just for you.